Oh no, is that Dark Spirit's Mastery? Make sure you guys smash the and crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more content. It's really starting off over here with Dark Spirit's Mastery. And this is actually freaking hilarious to be seeing out here because the only line of text you care about on this card is discard a card to add a level 8 fiend monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Now you're like, wait a minute, Robbie. What in the world do we even give a crap about Dark Spirit's Mastery? It's Regenesis. I'm telling you. This deck out here, Japan is coming up with so much for this deck. There is so much out here. You can play so many cool cards in Regenesis right now. It's actually crazy. And the whole thing that they even care about with this card right now is the fact that you just make it. You're able to use it to go toggle into the big well, he's not even a dragon, the big fiend level 8 for the deck, which is basically the entirety of the deck. So you're telling me for a cost of a discard 1, I can go search for the best card in my deck. Yeah, that's what we're dealing with here, everybody. And I sure as hell am not surprised to be seeing a massive actual use out of this. This is one of those interactions that you just kind of take to heart and go, huh, if you're going to be a Regenesis main, I would be picking up a couple copies of Dark Spirit's Mastery in the comment section. You're probably going to spend a whole $1 out here to have them. I've already seen the OCG started to talk about this. I've not seen it in practical application yet, but it's enough that a few people are going out to the stores and they're seeing depletions on the quantities of these, which means, you guessed it, there's talk and application of this actually working. So I'm a little bit curious. I really am. Is Dark Spirit, you obviously, have the search in the form of the Regenesis spell card itself, but the fact that we're kind of reaching, for this, that's interesting. Next up is Armillyre the Starleader Dragon. Now you're like, what in the world is this thing, Robbie? Well, for those of you that don't know, Konami made this on like a dual field set in Japan. Konami actively believed that making this card, it was going to be an extremely good card, but there is a purpose that it actually serves right now. So it can't be used as link material. Target one face-up monster that this thing points to. Start summon one monster with the same original level from your hand to your zone that this card points to in defense mode, but negate its effects. Huh. Okay, so, I actually saw this pop up in Regenesis. I didn't really think too much about it. I was like, this is kind of cool, I guess. But, what's the purpose of this? This lets you kind of get the extra bad cards out of your hand. The only problem here is I still have to dedicate 2 effect monsters to making this. And I feel like there's a better use of resources in the build than just running out here and trying to smash together to unload an extra copy from your hand. But there's just that. I like to talk about all the cool tech choices and things that we see out of the OCG and all the ideas that they try to come up with for certain things. I don't think that this one is necessarily the greatest. I could be missing something major with this, but I haven't seen Armillyre showing up, or Armillyre, or whatever its name is, the Starleader Dragon. I haven't seen this thing in a very long time. So now actually seeing it pop up in, actually it was 2 lists I've seen it in for Regenesis. I am a little bit curious about this myself, but now you're aware, and for what this card actually is, super cheap. I love bulk. Swordsoul, I gotta give you guys some credit, man. You guys do not want to let Swordsoul go. So many people out here have been running around with Swordsoul stuff that I'm actually pretty freaking impressed with this. The amount of hope that people have right now for Swordsoul to be this sleeper deck is actually kind of nuts. Now, I knew, obviously, when you printed the new Secret Rare out here, you made this card that said, hey, you want to pay 4K? Come on, give me 4,000 of your life points. Come on, do it. Yeah, see? Okay. There you go. You paid 4K. You have this big Link 4 on the field. Congratulations. Your deck did a little bit of extra something. You would be able to do something. And that's really freaking cool. But I'm so impressed out here with how the community has been handling this deck. I think that Swordsoul is kind of this, I'm almost going to say this little savior. People want to look at this deck as the budget equivalent. It's a very fantastic gateway, I would almost say, to getting into competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Because the way that the deck functions, it's very, very fair. And that's fine. You know, there used to be a day where you could make Baron the floor, make the cheese. Back in my day, Baron the floor. Yeah, you can't do that anymore. But the deck has more of its own identity at this point, and it's actually really freaking cool that they actually bridged the gap with the 10 Yi cards, you know, going, hey, these two archetypes go together. We actually are going to give you this. We just need just a little bit more, Konami. Can you muster just a little bit more? And if you could do so, I think you would have people a lot more excited for this. But to what I am seeing out here, it might be a solid pickup, genuinely. The Buster Blader stuff. Oh boy, I feel like we talk about this at the beginning of every format out here. So recently, we've still continued to see the Tenpai Buster Blader deck from our favorite duelists in the whole wide world. They've been having a massive success with it, but that hasn't really changed. What I've been seeing out here is the OCG just tried to cook up some Blue Eyes with Buster Blader. Now, hear me out here for a second. I don't need a technical degree in tomfoolery out here, but what in the world is going on here? You know, why are we going into a heavy Buster Blader meta out here? You know, with all this Blue Eyes running around, do I need to rush on? I need to prepare for the madness that this... No, I honestly don't think so. I think that people, if you've got a abnormally large amount of Dragon mains at your locals, then I think that would be the case to want to bust out, you know, the old Buster Blader right here. And a lot of these builds aren't even playing the extra deck lock, which is even crazier to me. That players are, they're choosing to approach these options, and they're going, honestly, you don't even need the extra deck lock anymore. It's just, they're not even worried about it. All right, you're there to put some stuff into defense mode, kind of convert everything to dragons, and that's kind of all you need. You know, if you are able to do that, then I feel like you've got what would be a pretty decent matchup kind of going for you right now. So the Buster Blader stuff is once again on the table as a pickup out here, strictly because on the TCG side, you can evidently play Tenpai with it, and you can do okay. If you're looking at the OCG side, you know, you can play some Blue Eyes with this, and you can actually achieve some kind of funny haha results, which I guess is what we want to be seeing right now. And then we got Necrovalley. Really? Really, Necrovalley? So, hold on here. Yeah, it's Necrovalley. Huh. Well, I mean, I guess, you know, your opponent not being able to kick some things out of the graveyard might matter a little bit, but, you know, is it really enough to matter all that much? I'm thinking it might actually be. I'm thinking that having that little bit of an extra control aspect might be worth it. I mean, if you're building stun right now, obviously, we've seen Clockwork Knight kind of showing up as well, but Necrovalley's kind of been the hard go-to inclusion out here for some of these strategies, just to kind of make sure that your opponent cannot. I don't really feel like Necrovalley is that strong of an option out here, but it's enough, honestly. It's enough to kind of think about. All right, if you don't have a high rarity Necrovalley, you know, the card's been kind of on the downtick right now, just because a card is making an honorable mention out here in the world of, you know, tech choices or, you know, things that are seeing play right now, doesn't mean that you shouldn't be paying attention to some of these. Necrovalley is always going to be one of those interesting little cards that is going to make a splash at different points in the meta. We've seen it, you know, when you make a floodgate that literally says, nope, no graveyard for you, but then you make the most complicated rulings that you can for a card with, like, what, 5-6 revisions? It's interesting. So keep your eye on your Dark Spirits Masteries, your Armillyre, just all the little things mentioned in this video. So please, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here in a day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.